What's up, everybody? This is Kenny Kimus here, bringing you chilling on this Thursday evening, and I'm joined with my first guest of the evening. She's a painter, a designer, a recorded artist. She does a variety of things, and she is a very busy lady. Joining me right now, the one and only Hvley J is joining me right now. How's it going?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's going great. Just like you said, I am a very busy woman. Just with my clothing line and my art, and traveling to do art shows. It's definitely a lot.
So yeah, I am familiar with your music, through UBO, obviously. But then I started to see more of your other work, being a painter, being a designer, having your own clothing line. You are quite the boss lady, and and it shows. I want to talk about the clothing line. Let's start with that. Obviously, you
Okay.
being an artist, being out there in the limelight, of course you gotta look good. You gotta look fresh. You gotta look fly wherever you go, whether it's you in the studio or you in the red carpet. So, what got you into having your own clothing line?
Well, I used to do hand painted clothing when I was a lot younger. When I was 19, 18, 19, I used to hand paint T-shirts, and I would either gift them or artists would buy them from me. Like recording artists would buy them to wear on stage and performances or music videos. And I got kind of burnt out with doing that just because painting each item is a lot of work, and you can't mass produce a hand painted one of a kind T-shirt. So you have to have some way to replicate that. I got a little bit frustrated with go to the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, and I didn't fully enroll as a student. What I did was I did they let me do like basically take a semester of classes in two different types of art. So they have all different types of art there. They have like sculpture, they have painting, they have fashion, they have animation. They have so many different things you can study at the Academy of Art University. But I was really interested in fine art and also in fashion design. So they let me take a semester of fashion design and sculpture classes because I also am a ceramic sculpture artist.
Mhm.
So when I was doing that, I fell in love with that as well. I just didn't know how to actually create a clothing line. I thought it was way out of my league. I was like, no, that just sounds like impossible for me. And if I wanted to get a job at a brand, then I would have to work from the bottom and work my way up. And so I kind of just took a long hiatus from that. Still had my dream of doing art, would paint, but more as a hobby, over the years. And then in 2009, I started my art company, and it used to be just called Hvley's Art, and that's actually my art website still. But my company is now Dream World Art Incorporated, so it's actually my art and my clothing. And so while I was doing the artwork, I took another break for a few years when I had my son. I have an 8-year-old little boy, and I restarted my company in 2018. I was like, I really miss doing art. I want to do it again, and then just went all in and just started grinding in the art world and doing any kind of art show I could find. And I learned certain ones I didn't want to do again, and certain ones weren't really beneficial for me because there wasn't enough collectors that would show up, and it was just more of a waste of time. Some of them were extremely good. So, I picked and chose what I like doing, and then I started traveling to do art shows as well at that time because I linked up with a couple people that were publicists, and they knew of art shows in different cities. So I did an art show in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. They had a bunch of charity events and at that time. So I did a couple charity events, and while I was preparing to go to Atlanta to do these art shows, I created 50 T-shirts because the publicist was like, "You need to have like merchandise to like bring," and I was like, "Well, right now I'm just doing T-shirts for like a drop shipper, and I don't have them on hand. Like the drop shipper makes them to order." He's like, "Well, you need to actually make some clothing so that you can bring them and sell them." So I was like, "Okay, fine." So I created one design. It was like black and white, and then a black design on a white shirt, and then a black design or a white design on a black shirt. So it was just like the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So 25 of each color, and I gifted 2 T-shirts to my designer friend, he's a stylist. Sorry, not a designer. He's a stylist, and he puts dresses these artists and these celebrities for events and for photo shoots and music videos. So I was like, "Hey, if you have any people that would want to wear this for something, here you go." And so he ended up putting it on Ludacris for the Super Bowl main concert. So that's how I started Dreamworld. That's the name of my clothing company. It's called Dreamwork Clothing. I as he wore that on stage, I was like, "Well, I guess I should start a clothing line." And that's how I started it. I started with like 4 designs, and I had no idea how to make graphics. And I had my dad's assistant make the graphics for me. And then I teamed up with one of my close friends. His name is Tyrone. He is a sales rep for another it's more of a T-shirt brand. It's called Planet of the Grapes, and they're based out of San Francisco. He is a sales rep for them, and he knew where all the manufacturers were that were good because, he had worked with this other brand. So he helped me team up with their company to have the same manufacturer. And then his friend, Jess, who owns that company, really just took me under his wing and taught me everything as far as wholesale and going to these conventions and what I should price my shirts at to, for buyers to want to buy them and, help me introduce me to different buyers for clothing boutiques and stores across the United States. So he really helped me a lot. And it's really sad because he's actually, that same guy, Jess, has been in a coma for 14 days with COVID. Yeah, the one that owns that clothing line that helped me.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's really devastating. But that's how I started my clothing line, because of him, and because my stylist friend as well. He helped me so much. So yeah, that's how it started. That was a long story, right?
Hey, we like stories on this show. We definitely like how it came to be and just the process that, it was all put together. And, it started small, but, it's very fortunate, to have people around you that just lead you to the right paths. And, next thing you know, Dreamwork Clothing, Hvley's art, definitely becoming a thing. Uh, and I think I just lost Hvley. Okay, we lost Hvley, but she's reconnected now. So that that story must have been overwhelming for the call, and then just drop.
I'm sorry, my service is bad. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's all good. And before I go any further, thoughts and prayers go out to Jeff, obviously. Just a reminder that COVID-19 is still out there, and people, please be safe out there wherever it is that you're doing. Just be safe and take all the precautions and whatnot. So we're praying for Jeff and to everyone that's still recovering from COVID-19 for sure. So where can people buy your clothing, whether it's online or maybe in person? Where can they go?
I have my online website. My online website is weardreamworld.com, and that's WEARDREAMWORLD.com. A-R dreamworld.com. So, like you're wearing it. So WEAR and then dreamworld.com. Or you can buy it at clothing boutiques or stores, depending on what state and city you're in. I am currently located in Sacramento, so I have 2 stores in Sacramento, Outfitters in the Galleria Mall and Top Line. It's also in Top Line in San Jose, California, Stockton, Concord, California, and the Fairfield Mall, Outfitters at Fairfield Mall. Not Urban Outfitters, it's just Outfitters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm in Memphis. I'm in 4 stores in Memphis. The Spot, Summit. There's 2 Summit stores in Memphis. And then there's Fitz Fashion. I'm in Fitz Fashion. I am in, oh my God, there's so many stores. I can't remember them all. But if you go on my website, you can definitely order stuff from there as well. So that's a good place to start. And then I also have my Instagram too, and that is at Wear Dream World. So
Gotcha.
that's my Insta. Yeah.
So go check all those sites out. Definitely support the locals, the independents out there that's putting the good products out there. They will definitely appreciate your support. Hvley obviously would appreciate your support as well. And art, the word art has definitely become quite the theme in this interview. So we got into the clothing, the painting, the designing. So let's move on to the music side. And ironically, that is your latest record, work of art. Just came out on the platforms earlier this year. So from your musical side, like how did that came to be, and who are some of your musical influences?
Well, when I was 19, I also was into music as well. When I was 19, I was actually in this group with one of my publicists. My publicist now, Eris. She was part of the Hip Hop Congress, which is an organization, and they have them in a lot of different cities. But it's a group of people that are into the hip hop scene that bring something to the table to help the community. So they, you could be, somebody that does photography or art, or, maybe you're into dance and you can teach kids how to dance, or, you're good at organizing, events, or, something like that. So somehow you bring people into the hip hop scene, and hang on one second.
Okay.
You bring people. Sorry, I'm talking. The security just came up to my window. It was weird. So the people in the hip hop scene, they all can come together for the Hip Hop Congress, and we throw events. We have different, things that we bring to the table. So that's how I started getting into the hip hop scene. And then also at the time, I was dating a music producer, and he would have artists come into his studio and record songs. And that's how I saw how people, the whole process of recording songs was, and I fell in love with it. And at the time, I had never recorded a song. I was in choir when I was younger, but I had never, actually seen how somebody put a song together, or made an album, or wrote a song, or made a beat. I had no idea, and I fell in love with it. And the guy that I was dating, that was a producer, I was like, I want to start making songs. And he kind of laughed at me and was like, stick to art, you're an artist, stick to art. And it rubbed me the wrong way, and I ended up wanting to kind of prove him wrong. And so then I just started recording songs myself, and I fell in love with it. So, yeah, and at first I was not good at all. And over time, I learned how to write a song properly and, make an actual decent record. So I took a break from recording for a few years when I was taking a break from doing art as well. And then I put out an album in 2009, and then I just put one out recently with an artist named Class. He's an R&B singer and a rapper, and we did a collaboration album. So the album is called Work of Art. We have 8 songs on there. Some are radio edits, and then some are explicit. They're R&B and hip hop mixture. They're just a really good vibe, and you'll have to check that out. So the album's called Work of Art, and the way I spell my artist name is Hvley and then J, but the A is upside down, so it looks like a V. So Hvley and then J, and then his name is Class. Yeah, because there was like my artist name is Hvley Jane, but I didn't want to go by that for music because there's another Hvley Jane that does music. So I didn't want it to get confusing. So I wanted to try something different, and so that's why my name has an upside down A. Easier to find too. So yeah, and then his artist name is Class, and that's CLA and then a dollar sign.
Yeah, go check it out.
Work of Art.
Work of Art, Hvley J, Class, with one S, as in $S. It's available on all the platforms. Good vibes, good joints. Got something, for the fellas and ladies, for the couples too, And the name of this collaboration project speaks for itself. It is indeed a work of art. So go enlighten yourself with this project and go stream it. We're getting into the weekend. You want to get the good vibes going, and I think this will be a good way to start. Go listen to Work of Art. And you were saying earlier about your music. It is very satisfying when you prove somebody wrong, and when you do that, those that question you be like, "Oh, my bad. I ain't know you could do it like that." That's satisfying. That is very satisfying. I love hearing stories when you prove somebody wrong. When when people didn't think you could do it. So I love hearing stories like that. So with the clothing and with the music, what is next for Hvley? As we get into the warm days of the summer, and then we'll eventually get into the fall. But with that being said, what's next for Hvley in the coming weeks and months?
Well, I'm doing Art Basel in December, and that's in Miami. It starts November 30th and goes till December 6th, and it's in Miami Beach, right on Ocean Drive, and the art show is called Scope International Contemporary Show, and it's an Art Basel art show that they're doing there. And they built this building literally right on the beach, and it's this huge building, and there's hundreds of artists and galleries in there, and it's just a really amazing and ginormous show that if anyone is in that area should come check out.
Well, Hvley
that's one thing I have planned.
Yeah.
And then I also have the clothing convention in Atlanta in October too. So just those 2 things so far.
Well, Hvley, it's been a pleasure getting to chat with you as part of your very, very busy schedule. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to hearing more from you in the future. And I might buy some Hvley swag, if you will, down the road. So
thank you.
Definitely we'll look into the websites that you mentioned, and we'll I'll buy at least something. My sisters do have birthdays coming up, so I might slide in some Haley stuff and as gifts, you know, for future
Awesome. Thank
gifts.
you. I appreciate that.
So, but thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing this interview. I enjoyed chatting with you. You definitely are a business mind woman. You whatever you set your mind to, you do it, and you do it very well. I enjoy hearing from you, hearing your story, and I look forward to seeing what's next from you. Thank you again for your time, and appreciate you doing this as part of your busy schedule.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. You have a blessed day.
You too.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye bye.